All right, what is up, you guys? Sage here, Builder Sunday, episode 8, distribution. So, it's fantastic to be fantastic, to have a great product, to really be able to deliver at a high level. But if you have the best burger in South Africa and no one knows you have the best burger in South Africa, you don't have the best burger in South Africa, period. If no one knows you exist, then you can't have an impact on anyone, if that makes sense. So we're going to touch on a couple of points here, and then I'm going to say a last closing line, and I'm going to let you go. But before I get into that, who am I? My name is Oamoi, CEO founder of Legacy Africa. Legacy Africa is a platform for entrepreneurs to connect with other entrepreneurs. It's building and developing something very fantastic. So link is in the description. Go check it out and see if you have a use case for it yourself. Um, First and foremost, the best product doesn't win. The one of the best distribution does. Um, if a product has the best distribution, is distributed across, for example, the entire South Africa, and is viable, it will make a lot more and will be used much wider than an even better product that is only distributed across the Eastern Cape. Why? Because you have a wider reach, you have a wider base to touch, and people tend to use things that other people use. People tend to use the same platform that other people are using. For example, WhatsApp is a platform that everyone uses across the world, as far as I can tell. And the really cool thing about it is the reason why you use WhatsApp is because everyone across the world uses that same platform. So if you're going to connect with anyone on any platform and it's a more personal thing, or there's already a level of trust there, then you're definitely going to want to move it over to WhatsApp, because again, it has that worldwide distribution base. So just as a crazy example, I'm sure there are maybe better applications out there with better features and more free stuff and more this and more that. But because WhatsApp is everywhere, then people are going to use that one more often than anything else. Um, just when you hear the word distribution, it tends to be scary, especially when it comes to like having a physical product, or having even a software that you want to develop, having an application, or whatever it may be. When you hear the word distribution, it may seem scary. It may seem like you're going to have handshakes and meetings and phone calls with strange people. But distribution is just eyeballs, it's attention, it's a way to connect and meet with the people who have a use for your thing, right? That's all the distribution is. So it's all about finding the ways, the networks, the channels, talking to the right people, doing the right things to get yourself out there. And that's the third point that you're going to want in terms of distribution, is to be able to manufacture attention. That's sending the messages, showing up to events, making the phone calls. We talked about the core four earlier on, which is like where to find those customers, and that is one to one, people you know, one to many people that you know. That's DMs. This is content, and then it's one to one. People you don't know, which is your cold DMs, cold calls, and then one to many to people you don't know, and that is your paid ads, right? And the less people know you, the less personal it is, the less likely people are to convert. And so that's when you start implementing the other things, such as your proof. You start implementing things such as your value proposition, the strength of your offer, your copy starts to matter, your design starts to matter, whatever the case. But all that comes and stems from you being able to manufacture attention. Otherwise, nothing's going to happen, like we discussed earlier. So distribution is repetition. It's not one moment. It is a collection of moments. It's constantly saying the same thing over and over again until people understand who you are, what you do, and they tie that value that you create to your face or to your product. So it's creating the value, continuing to repeat the same values, and that being tied to your face, being tied to your product, is how you create a distribution base for yourself. Um, and then a really cool thing about it is that distribution compounds, right? If repeated, it becomes a large network over time, just by itself. And compounding is the eighth wonder of the world. Meaning what? If you create something that compounds, The one effort that you make today, stacked with the effort that you make tomorrow, stacked with the effort that you make the next day, gets you on a steady upstream. And it doesn't really look like this. It's not as sharp of an incline as you'd like it to be. It does feel like the sharpest incline in the world when you're actually making the climb, but in terms of your trajectory, it's looking more like this. Meaning what? Meaning you start at your lowest point, you slowly but surely get off the ground, 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 and then you're out of here. And that's assuming that nothing incredible happens. You don't pop in the meantime. There will be a slow and steady growth if you continue to walk the path and you continue to provide the value to the people. People are ultimately going to flock to you at the end of the day. And a very important one, number 6, is builders don't wait to be discovered. They get in front of people. A great idea that nobody sees is just a thought. That's the most important thing. So knock on the doors, create the meetings, make the phone calls, send the emails, go to the events, do whatever it takes to make sure that your idea doesn't die. Because ultimately, an idea that stays in your head and never gets executed on, it's just a thought. And people have thoughts all the time. People have great ideas all the time, but very few people actually make their dreams a reality and actually make something of themselves and something of that dream, because they wait for it to happen. They wait for the perfect moment. They wait for the perfect time, the perfect thing to come along. Perfect thing doesn't exist, but you exist here and now, and you can create that space for yourself to grow and make something really, really fantastic. So, a closing line that I'm going to leave you off with, and I'm gonna let y'all get out of here. Don't want to keep you for too long. Want y'all out there building, doing what needs to be done in order to make South Africa and Africa's next businesses. Okay. So the last line is: if people don't know you exist, the rest of the business doesn't matter. Meaning what? On Builders Sunday, we talked about various things. We talked about your offer. We talked about value. We talked about how to get customers. We talked about like various things. We talked about money models. We talked about like ways to, we mentioned concepts like LTV, cost to acquire customers, like all these wonderful fancy topics and things, and you can build the biggest, best money model, the best product. You have all the components that you would like to have in terms of the business itself, and on paper, on the spreadsheet, it does billions. If no one ever hears about it, it doesn't exist. If no one ever hears about it, it never happens. um, if no one knows you exist, no matter how good your name is, no matter how beautiful your design is, how well functioning the product is, no matter what, literally, if no one knows you exist, it doesn't exist. It never happened. And all of that work will have been for nothing. And so the only way to make sure that your hard work in creating the thing that you want to create and putting as much of yourself towards it as you do, the only way to make sure that that pays off is by sticking to it, distributing it, making sure that it gets into the hands of the right people who know what to do with it. All right. All right. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, please hit that subscribe button. I have been Sage, standing on business. Signing off.